Well, good morning, all you lovely people. Welcome back to Grumpy Old Git in the Corner on a Friday, which is still quite damp and overcast out there. Doesn't look like it's going to improve any. But looking around mainstream media this morning, just to see, what stories they're putting out there to distract us from other things. And today it seems the main stories are medical. Now this is all public knowledge YouTube, so, well, plus a few of my opinions I suppose, but now after the COVID inquiry we all followed that, or I did anyway, and some of the stuff that came out there about the failings of government, failings of big pharma, manufacturers, scientists, not all failings and just information, I might add. They failed to properly warn the public, shall we say, of their intervention, what the possible repercussions were of it. Now these same scientists are saying that they're very, very close to finding an intervention for lung cancer. Why not all cancers? Why in particular lung cancer? Well, they announced that they could be close to this. The government are funding it partly, to the point of, I think it was nearly 2 million. But after initial trials, whatever, and they move on to actually testing it with humans, like they do with everything eventually. Although what's tested isn't always what you actually end up getting, but they will start, once it gets released, if it does, with the older generation, 54 and upwards. Why is that? Is this a new fear campaign coming in, as this is allegedly a preventative measure? Remember where we heard that before? Yeah, so do I. But is it because, this is where the conspiracies will start, won't it? Now, we've seen what can happen after a few years of certain things and certain events. Now, do they still see the older generation as a burden on society? Mainly a financial burden. We have knowledge that that isn't no use to them nowadays because they're not interested. But yeah, it all seems to be based around that. So will the conspiracy theories start on that? Just what you hear if you listen to certain fractions and different people. Just saying, like. But I won't trust anything that comes from these people, that's for sure, no matter how bad my health got. But moving on, again, another one. Is this all beginning to start another health scare? Now, for the last few years, they've been pushing people to get tested for just about everything out there. With relentless campaigns by post, media, social media, flyers through the door even, texts. I've had texts. Why would you try and push a whole nation into fear of something medical? Pushing everybody to get tested by a system that is broken, it is full, it is on its knees. This can only add to their burden. Yes, if you're feeling ill and you believe you've got something, go and get tested, by all means. But if you're going to do it just because you've had a flyer through the door, you know, think about what you're doing. I'm not saying don't, but I'm just saying this adds to the struggling health system. Now, with all these tests and interventions that are out there now, and more are being added, you make an inquiry to your GP surgery about one of these tests or to take one of these interventions of any type, they're more than happy to accommodate you and find you an appointment, usually within a few days. But they can't find you an appointment if you're sick. Unreal. See where I'm coming from? And the other one mainstream media have put out today. Now, first of all, you've got to think about where a lot of these diseases and illnesses have started to explode over the last few years. Think about what we've been accepting into this country. Well, we haven't. The government have, allegedly on our behalf. Yeah, right. But the new one they're putting out there now is they could possibly see if you have tuberculosis, that don't sound right, but that nasty one. Even if you don't know you've got it, but you can be spreading it. Now, this is done with a simple blood test. Apparently, this is what's going to happen with it. If you listen to mainstream media, of course. But everything they want. Now, you go to a doctor, if you actually get to see one, oh, we've got to take some blood. Everything. We've got to take some blood. It used to be your blood pressure and your temperature, but now we need some blood. Why? Are they collecting it for like a DNA database? Which made me think, don't forget, you've got now still, I believe it's still in place, the scheme that the NHS did that was recommended by the government, or the government put in place, where the NHS could share your data, your medical information, with people like the police, the local councils, even some businesses. And the only way you could stop it was by opting out, which I did immediately as soon as I heard about it. Now, I believe that is still there because it's gone very, very quiet on that. Again, just saying. I mean, I mean, during the pandemic, I considered myself Schrodinger's COVID because I hadn't been tested and never would. So technically, I've got it and haven't got it at the same time until I get tested. Remember the cat in the box? It's dead or alive. You don't know until you open the box. So yeah, I considered myself Schrodinger's COVID. I've got it and I haven't. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. This one's quite a long one today. Yeah, just some points that I picked up on today just from listening and watching to a bit of what's going on out there and what stories to look behind, but the stories themselves were quite interesting, especially as I'm in ill health myself. But I hope you all have a brilliant weekend. Obviously, at the moment, as things stand, there won't be a PAP Live Sunday again for personal reasons. He did pop up on my live Wednesday and explain that he's had a family emergency, and he's dealing with that. So, but I'm sure he'll pop up at some point or put something out just to let you know how he's doing. But he's absolutely fine in himself. He's nothing wrong with Dan at all, except for the usual. But there you go, guys. That's it for this week on the videos. If I've got anything interesting or anything interesting happens, I will pop up over the weekend with something. But as always, respects to each and every one of you, especially the new subs. And until the next time we meet, stay safe, stay absolutely strong, and stay free from the fear. Don't buy into it, peoples. Laters.